might know Caitlin Clark as the unstoppable force on the basketball court,
dominating the WNBA and turning heads with her record-breaking performances. But what if I told you she's now making waves in a completely different sport? Yes, you heard that right. Caitlin Clark has stepped onto the golf course, and what she's doing there is nothing short of jaw-dropping. Her recent appearance at the WNBA Pro-Am tournament has left fans, critics, and even seasoned golf professionals utterly speechless. Dominating the WNBA and turning heads with her record-breaking performances. But what if I told you she's now making waves in a completely different sport? Yes, you heard that right. Caitlin Clark has stepped onto the golf course, and what she's doing there is nothing short of jaw-dropping. Her recent appearance at the WNBA Pro-Am tournament has left fans, critics, and even seasoned golf professionals utterly speechless.
And we're doing a fun, there we go. Yeah.
I'm next.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
All right. This is awesome.
But here's the thing about Caitlin Clark. She thrives under pressure. Instead of letting that moment derail her, she bounced back with an impressive iron shot that landed her ball within inches of the pin on the very next hole. It's the kind of resilience you'd expect from someone who's used to sinking buzzer beaters in high-stakes basketball games. What's fascinating about Caitlin's golf game is her versatility. You can tell she approaches golf with the same mindset. She brings to basketball precision strategy and an unshakable competitive spirit. On one hole, she sank a long putt from 20 ft out, and the crowd erupted. In applause, even the pros in her group couldn't help but be impressed. Annika Sorenstam herself commented on Caitlin's natural athleticism, saying, "She's got the mindset of a champion. It's no surprise she can excel at more than one sport." But not everyone was thrilled about Caitlin stealing the spotlight. Traditionalists in the golf world questioned whether her participation was a distraction from the real competition. Some even argued that her presence overshadowed the professional golfers who had dedicated their lives to the sport. It's a valid point, but here's the counter-argument. Caitlin's participation brought an unprecedented level of attention to the event. Golf Channel adjusted its programming to showcase her rounds, starting coverage 90 minutes earlier than usual. The influx of viewers, many of whom might never have tuned into golf tournament otherwise, was undeniable proof of Caitlin's star power. And then there's the impact she had on the fans. For many in the crowd, this wasn't just about golf. It was about witnessing a cultural moment. Caitlin Clark, a superstar in basketball, was now proving that her talents and influence could transcend. Sports fans followed her from hole to hole, creating an atmosphere that felt more like a playoff basketball game than a quiet day on the course. She signed autographs, posed for photos, and even took a moment to share how her love for golf began. "My dad got me into golf when I was young," she said, her smile lighting up the crowd. "It's always been something I've enjoyed, but I never thought I'd be playing alongside legends like Nelly and Annika." Speaking of legends, Caitlin's pairing with Nelly Korda and Annika Sorenstam was a story in itself. These are women who have reached the pinnacle of golf, and here they were sharing the course with a basketball player. But what stood out wasn't the contrast. It was the camaraderie. Nelly, known for her calm demeanor and laser-focused game, was visibly impressed by Caitlin's ability to adapt to the high-pressure environment. "She's a natural competitor," Nelly said. "You can see it in the way she approaches every shot. It's not about being perfect, it's about being determined." And then there was Annika, who joined Caitlin for the back nine. Watching these two interact was like witnessing a masterclass in sportsmanship. Annika, ever the mentor, offered tips and encouragement, while Caitlin soaked it all in like a sponge. The highlight of their partnership came on the 12th hole, when Caitlin nailed a tricky putt. After following Annak's advice on reading the green, it was a small moment, but one that perfectly captured the spirit of the day: learning, growing, and breaking boundaries. By the end of her round, Caitlin had not only gained the respect of her peers, but also ignited a conversation about the crossover potential of athletes. Could Caitlin Clark be paving the way for more multi-sport stars? It's a question worth pondering. Her performance at the WNBA wasn't just a one-off event, it was a statement. Caitlin showed that talent, hard work, and a willingness to step out of your comfort zone can lead to extraordinary results, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Caitlin is first and foremost a basketball player, and she's made it clear that her heart belongs to the WNBA. Still, her foray into golf has opened new doors, and fans are already speculating about her next move. Will she continue to participate in Pro-Am events? Could she compete in amateur tournaments? The possibilities are endless, and knowing Caitlin, she's probably already setting her sights on her next challenge. Caitlin Clark's golf debut at the WNBA Pro-Am has ignited a firestorm of reactions, debates, and possibilities. From her skill on the course to the ripple effects of her crossover appeal. There's so much more to unpack in this extended exploration. We'll dive deeper into the implications of her performance, the challenges of pursuing two sports, and the broader impact she's having on women's athletics. Let's continue the journey and uncover what Caitlin's golf adventure means for the world of sports. Caitlin's appearance at the WNBA wasn't just a momentary spectacle. It was a cultural shift for decades. Women's sports have battled for visibility and respect, often overshadowed by their male counterparts, but Caitlin's star power is rewriting that narrative. Her ability to draw massive crowds and media attention to a golf tournament, a sport where she's a relative novice, is a testament to her influence. It also underscores the untapped potential of women's sports. When given the right platform, one of the most striking aspects of Caitlin's performance was her ability to hold her own in a sport that's notoriously difficult. Golf isn't just about power or precision, it's a mental game that requires focus, patience, and adaptability. For Caitlin, who's accustomed to the fast-paced action of basketball, the slower, more deliberate rhythm of golf presented a unique challenge, and yet she adapted seamlessly. Her performance during the back nine, where she played alongside Annika Sorenstam, was particularly telling. Annika, a 10-time major champion, is a living legend in the sport, sharing the course with her would be intimidating for most players, let alone a basketball star dabbling in golf, but Caitlin approached the experience with her trademark confidence. When Annika offered tips on reading greens and perfecting her stance, Caitlin listened intently, absorbing every piece of advice. Like a seasoned pro, by the end of the round, Annika was full of praise for Caitlin's composure and natural athleticism. This raises an interesting question. Could Caitlin's basketball background actually give her an edge in golf? At first glance, the two sports couldn't be more different. Basketball is all about speed, agility, and explosive movements, while golf requires precision, control, and a steady hand. But dig a little deeper and the parallels become clear. Both sports demand an acute sense of spatial awareness, the ability to perform under pressure, and an unwavering focus on the task at hand. Caitlin's success on the basketball court has undoubtedly equipped her with these skills, which translate surprisingly well to the golf course. However, excelling in two sports isn't just about transferable skills, it's about time and dedication. Golf, like basketball, requires countless hours of practice to master. For Caitlin, who's already juggling the demands of a WNBA career, finding time to pursue golf seriously would be a monumental challenge. But if anyone has the drive and determination to pull it off, it's Caitlin Clark. Her ability to balance basketball and golf speaks to a larger trend in modern athletics, the rise of multi-sport athletes. Historically, athletes have been encouraged to specialize in one sport from a young age, with the idea that focusing on a single discipline is the key to success. But Caitlin is challenging that notion, proving that it's possible to excel in multiple arenas. Her story is inspiring a new generation of athletes to embrace versatility and explore their full potential. Of course, not everyone is on board with Caitlin's multi-sport journey. Critics argue that her foray into golf is a distraction from her basketball career, where she's already a generational talent. They worry that splitting her focus could hinder her performance on the court. These concerns aren't entirely unfounded. History is littered with examples of athletes who tried to juggle multiple sports, only to see their performance suffer. But Caitlin seems unfazed by the naysayers. In interviews, she's emphasized that basketball remains her top priority, and her golf ventures are simply a way to challenge herself and have fun during the off-season. "I love basketball more than anything," she said after the tournament. "Golf is something I enjoy, but it's not my main focus. That being said, I'm always looking for ways to grow and push myself." and golf gives me a different kind of challenge. What makes Caitlin's story particularly compelling is how it's reshaping the conversation. Around women's sports for years, female athletes have faced an uphill battle for recognition and respect, even in sports like tennis and gymnastics, where women have achieved significant visibility. There's often a disparity in media coverage, sponsorship opportunities, and overall support compared to men's sports. Caitlin's crossover appeal is helping to bridge that gap. Her appearance at Theanuka brought an entirely new audience to women's golf, many of whom were likely tuning in to watch her for the first time. The LPGA, which has long struggled to attract mainstream attention, benefited enormously from Caitlin's participation. The buzz around the tournament wasn't just about her. It was about the possibilities she represents for women's sports as a whole. This isn't the first time Caitlin has used her platform to elevate women's athletics. Her impact on the WNBA has been nothing short of transformative. As a rookie, she shattered viewership records, drawing millions of fans to her games and proving that there is a massive appetite for women's basketball when it's marketed and presented effectively. Her ability to transcend sports and capture the public's imagination is a rare gift, one that has the potential to change the landscape of women's athletics. But with great power comes great responsibility. Caitlin's growing influence means she'll face increased scrutiny, both on and off the court. Balancing her basketball career with burgeoning golf interests will require careful planning and discipline. There's also the question of how she manages her public image as a role model for young athletes. Caitlin is under constant pressure to set a